Hello student. Today we start the sessions which is depend on Microsoft .NET framework. First of all understand this one. Now what is Microsoft .NET framework? Fine. So myself is Mithila Savan and today we start the session regarding to .NET framework. We have to cover all the objectives in .NET. First is what is .NET, then .NET Enterprise Vision, .NET Framework, .NET Framework version and .NET Framework components. Now what is .NET? .NET is not a actually programming language. It's a platform of number of services. Now what is mean by platform? Platform is nothing but one type of the environment where we develop our actual program as well as process and finally a deployment of a program. Now next is a .NET Enterprise Vision. Listen student, .NET Enterprise Vision is nothing but where we develop our .NET language. Fine. So it should be provided the total environment regarding to the internet. Internet is one of the medium where we have to make our application as a globalized. So users is nothing but our client. Fine. So client can be see by using a .NET, we have to implement our application in any device, any places and anytime. Simply I want to say .NET framework. Now .NET framework means what? .NET framework is nothing but this is one type of the platform. It's not a language. If it's not a language, then what is it? It's a platform to develop, process and deploy a final application. So .NET is not a language, it's a platform to develop, process and deploy a final application. Now .NET, this is a internet, fine, and internet is an intermediate between a user and client, fine. So we have to develop this application by using a user interactive as well as XML based application as well as backend. Backend is nothing but by using a SQL and all, fine. So I already told you .NET is not a language, it's a platforms to develop our application. So what type of application we have to develop? We develop a window based application, web based application and lot of another applications. Fine. So second point is important that it's used to develop window based application, before Windows based application, console based application, console based application, Windows based application and web based application. So Ajay, Sunil, Yes, Ashwini, Shreya, everyone is clear for this concept? Yes, I am able to see your chat window. If you have any doubt, you have to ask me on that chat window. Fine? Yeah, I can see the message for the Ashwini. Yes, Ashwini, clear? Good, very good. So, next point is how this framework should be versionized. Because now today's we have to use the framework 4.0, 4.5, fine. So latest version mostly in company use 4.0, fine. So we have to see their hierarchy. First of all, .NET Framework 2.0 develop a two concept, .NET Runtime and base class libraries. Libraries is nothing but collection of all the assemblies. After .NET 2.0, the next version is developed. This is nothing but .NET 3.0. Under a .NET Framework 3.0, have the different concept, Workflow Foundation, Communication Foundation, Windows Presentation Foundation, and Windows Car Space. After .NET 3.0, it should be developed .NET 3.5 and include Ajax, LinkU. These all are the new concepts should be included in 3.5. And now we have to use 4.0. 4.0 is provide the extensible level functionality. For example, parallel LinkU. Fine. So parallel LinkU, this is another concept to make our database very friendly with our application. Now the next one is the core of .NET framework is FCL and CLR. Now what is the work of the CLR? If you can see this PPT presentation, here have the 3 points. CLR provided garbage collections, language integration and integrated security. Now what is mean by garbage collection? Now garbage collection is nothing but first of all understand what are the components inside a .NET framework, FCL and CLR. Now what is CLR? CLR is nothing but common language runtime. CLR is provided the three functionality. First one is a garbage collection. Now what is mean by garbage collection? Garbage collection is nothing but simply used for cleanup memory. Clean up memory space. This is nothing but whenever we have to develop our application, that time we have to declare a various variables and it's required to clean up our memory space for continuing our application. That's why this functionality is provided by the common language runtime. Next one is a language integration. Language integration is nothing but .NET framework. This framework is provided the multiple language support. For example, C++, C, Sharp, VB.NET, etc. They provide a integrated security. Integrated security is nothing but provide the administration for our application. Now class library is nothing but namespaces. Okay, yes, I can see the Sunil chat window. Yes, Sunil, what you want to say? Okay, fine. Sunil want to ask a question. How to show a namespaces? What is actual a namespaces? So before starting, just how to open a Visual Studio. Click this application after the installation. Click on Microsoft Visual Studio 2010. This is nothing but throughout environment whatever application is required. Click on File, New and add a project. Here I have a browse button. This is nothing but where we want to save our application. So my folder inside a D folder, here is my name Mithila. Fine. So just click over here, select folder, look at here. The location is defined inside a D folder. Have the subfolder Mithila. We have to save this application. So my application name is given here demo example. Click OK. This is our first window. Just I adjust this window. Okay, fine. Yes. At the right hand side have the solution explorer. This is nothing but one solution file for our application. Inside a solution we are able to add a multiple project. Now my project name is a demo example. Inside a demo example have the program class. Now what is the actual hierarchy? Understand this hierarchy, how to define that. First is the solution file. Solution file, the extension for that solution file is .sln. Inside a solution file, have the project file. Project file is nothing but name of your project. Now this example, the name of my project is demo example. So just I write over here the name of my project. Inside project file have the actual class file. The name of my class file is program.cs. CS is nothing but extension for the class file. We have to use a C# language. That's why the name of that file is program.cs. So this is nothing but hierarchy for my applications. Now here I am able to see the actual interface for a simple application. This is a console based application, means I am able to implement only character user interface. Look at here, using is nothing but keyword. Whatever libraries I am using in my application. System is nothing but my namespace. Namespace is collection of all the libraries, collection of all classes, collection of methods, and inside that text, link queue, collection, all these are classes which is comes inside system is a root namespace. Now this is a namespace. My namespace is nothing but my project name demo example. Collection of classes is nothing but namespaces. I already told you. So name of my class is a program class, and collection of methods is nothing but my class. So inside that have a main method. Now I just want to describe what is a static, void and main. Static is nothing but constant, shareable. We are able to share this method without instantiating any object. Void is a return type. Return type means void cannot return any value. And the name of method is a main method. That's why main is called as a entry point for your application. String is nothing but, sorry, yes, string is nothing but data type, and this is nothing but array size. Fine. So that's why this application by default takes the value in the form of the string, and arguments is nothing but whatever argument you have to pass. So simply we have to implement a simple program. Now our first program is just I want to display hello world. So how to write console? So console is a class. dot. Whenever I put dot, I am able to access a various properties, various methods inside a console class. So console dot write line. Now write line. Just print hello world. How to run this application? Just press F5, otherwise click over here, start debugging. Fine. So whenever I press a F5, I am not able to control my screen. So how to control a screen? Just write over here console dot read line, because read line method is nothing but which is accept the input from the user. Now press F5. Look at our output window. This is nothing but hello world. Just print at the output window. Clear everyone? Yes, I can see all of chat friend. So Ajay, Sunil, Ashwini. Yes, very good. Everyone got a reply. Yes, everyone is clear. Good. Now the next thing, understand. Console, I already told you it's a class. Write line is a method and this is nothing but statement. I'm using a double quote because by default the console applications takes the value in the form of the string. Now whenever you just right click on write line method, go to definition. Look at here. This is nothing but metadata. Now what is mean by metadata? Yes, metadata. Metadata is nothing but collection of classes and functions. So metadata is nothing but collection of classes and function. Look at here. Console is a class. Now I just find out, press Ctrl F5 and just I want to find out write line method. So look at here, write line method which is comes inside a console class. So that's why here I am using a write line method. So write line method which is comes inside a console class and console class comes inside a system namespace. So suppose here I just uncomment system namespace. So I'm not able to use a console class which is comes inside a system namespace. Clear everyone? Good. Now next part is understand this diagram. Common language runtime. So our operating system, for example Windows 7, Windows 8, whatever we use, fine. At the upside of the operating system have the common language runtime, because common language runtime is nothing but actually used for conversion our language. So CLR manages the code execution at runtime. So this is nothing but used for our memory management. Now inside a common language runtime have the common type system and common language specification. Now what is common type system? What is common language specification? We have to learn the next slide. Fine. Now next thing is a base class libraries. We already see over here, this is nothing but my class libraries where all the functions, all the methods which is comes inside a class. Now Above the layer for the base class library is the ADO.NET. Yes, very interesting concept of the ADO.NET. We have to learn after session, but still I want to introduce what is ADO.NET. ADO.NET is nothing but one type of the technology which is used for connections between your front end and back end. So this is nothing but data access layer. Data access layer is used with a database, otherwise XML file. Now at the above that, so ADO.NET, look at over here. ADO.NET is nothing but connection between your application as well as your class, libraries and your database. These all are your favorite programming language. So .NET framework main functionality is providing the interoperability. Interoperability is nothing but provided a different languages to support. For example, C++, C Sharp, VB.NET, Perl, J Sharp, etc. So almost 42 languages supported inside a .NET framework. Now look at over here, common language specification. This is the another specification component provided by the .NET framework is provided the environment for your application. Now understand, base class library is nothing but collection of all the data access, all the data. For example, your methods, inbuilt classes, inbuilt files you have to access directly. And ASP.NET is a web application provided the web services. And common language specification is nothing but provided the interoperability. Interoperability is provided by using C++, C Sharp, VB.NET. Fine. Now C Sharp language is submitted to ECMA. ECMA is nothing but European Communication Manufacturing Association. So European computer communication is with regarding to the computer. So European Computer Manufacturing Association. This is nothing but one type of the association is compiled with the Netscape and Microsoft. We already know that .NET framework is developed by the Microsoft. Now what is the work of the Netscape? Netscape is developed the JavaScript language which is used inside a ASP.NET. Now I want to show you how to work a CLR. We already see over here CLR provided the garbage collection as well as second things is integrity, your language, interoperability means support a multiple language. Third point is the interoperability. Next thing is how to work a CLR. So CLR is work. Suppose whatever input we have to give, this is in the form of the source code. This code is converted into intermediate language. Intermediate language is a assembly language. Assembly, this is nothing but not fully converted, not halfly converted. It should be middle level language. Now I got a intermediate language. Now this language is converted into machine code, machine or native code. So please understand CLR how to work. Source code is converted into intermediate language. After all, I getting an intermediate language, I converted my this code into a machine level code or a native language. Now The next thing is, just this diagram shows how to work CLR. Inside a CLR, use a JIT compiler. Inside a JIT compiler, we have to convert our code from IL into machine code, CLS and common type system. Now, what is mean by intermediate language? Intermediate language is nothing but low level language. It's a assembly language. CTS. Now what is mean by CTS? CTS is nothing but common type system. Is one of the important components of the .NET framework. So these all are is nothing but components. Components of .NET framework. So first is a CLR. First is a CLR. Then second is a second one is a CLS. So CLS is nothing but common language specification. Common language specification is nothing but simply provided some rules and regulations for our application. Next one is CTS. CTS is nothing but common type system. Common type system is nothing but provided by how to manage, process all data types in our application. Next one is, this one is third one. Fourth one is CLS, CTS, and fourth one is a class libraries. Class library, I already told you, class library is nothing but showing already inbuilt classes and functions. Now next thing is how to convert a language. I already told you how to convert a language from program code to intermediate language. Now what is mean by assembly? Get over here. This is nothing but collection of data. This is nothing but your assembly. Assembly we have to, this is DLL file. Assembly is nothing but single deployable unit. After execution your program, the one file is created. Now look at here. Inside that folder, these all are the programs. Suppose this one of the program. This is nothing but your solution file, and inside that have the bin and debug folder. This is nothing but DLL and executable file. Clear? So how to create a executable file? This is nothing but my solution file. The extension of that file is .slm. The next part is common type system. Common type system, I already told you, this is nothing but manages all the data types. Fine. Now there are the two types of the data types. One is a value type and second one is a reference type. Value type is nothing but data stored inside a stack memory, and reference type is nothing but stored in the heap memory. Now .NET languages provided a multiple language because Microsoft developed a very good software. This is nothing but Visual Studio 2010, whatever we use now. Fine. So this software is provided the multiple language. I just want to show you again. Whenever you have to open this application, that time it will be asked, click on new project. Look at here. This is a Visual C Sharp. VB is nothing but VB.NET, Visual C++, Visual F Sharp. These all are the multiple languages, multiple project we have to implement in this single interface. Fine. So this is nothing but provided the interoperability. Now in Notepad I already show you how to compilation our language. Understand this diagram so you all clear more clearly. Fine. So how to compile, how to execute our language? Compilation is there. Now this is a source code. Source code is converted into a MSIL. MSIL is nothing but intermediate language by using a compiler. We have to develop our application by using a C Sharp.NET. So inside a C Sharp, whenever we have to develop our language, that time use a compiler CSC. CSC is nothing but C Sharp compiler. MSIL is nothing but collection of all the codes and the metadata. Fine. So this is nothing but assembly file. I just show you now. Fine. So DLL and executable file. Now collection of executable and DLL file is nothing but assembly. So assembly is a single deployable unit. Now what is mean by .exe file? .exe file is nothing but file dot assembly. First of all assembly. Inside a assembly the two files. One is dot DLL. Dot DLL is nothing but reference file where all the data should be stored. Second one is dot exe. Dot exe is a executable file and collection of .dll and executable file is nothing but assembly. So source code is converted into MSIL. This is nothing but intermediate code by using a CSC compiler, C Sharp compiler. For example, if have the different language C++, so that time use a C++ compiler. J Sharp using a J Sharp compiler. So MSIL is nothing but collection of code and the metadata. After you got a IL language, it should be converted into a native code by using a JIT compiler. I just show you over here. Fine. So source code is converted into IL by using, yes, I can see Ashwini chat. Yes, Ashwini, you are absolutely right. By using CSC compiler. CSC compiler is nothing but C Sharp compiler. Then you got a IL language. IL is converted into machine code by using, yes Ajay, yes, right. Ajay is saying by using a JIT compiler. Clear how to work CLR? Good. So now what is assembly? Assembly is nothing but collection of DLL and exe file. It's a single deployable file. These all points we already covered. Fine. Now .NET Framework class library, base class library, above that ADO.NET and XML and ASP.NET and Windows Form. Before going ahead, I want to show you manifest. Now what is mean by metadata is nothing but collection of classes and functions. Now what is mean by manifest? Manifest is nothing but collection of metadata. This is nothing but and assemblies. Metadata and assemblies. Yes. Now, sorry. Ajit have one question. Yes, Ajit. I can see your chat. Yes, Ajit. Okay, fine. You want to see how to show a manifest, how to look like a manifest, how to create a version numbers and all. Okay, fine. So I want to show you. Just goes here. All programs have the Microsoft Visual Studio 2010. Click over here. Have the SDK tools. Inside that have the IL disassembly. It just show you all the executable file information about your assembly, metadata and manifest. Just click over here. File. Open any application, whatever you show. So inside a D drive, Mithila folder, have the demo example. Just before that we have to done. Click over here. In that file have the bean folder. Click debug. This one our application. Look at here. Yes, Ajit. See here. This is nothing but manifest. Manifest. Look at here. All the informations about your program. At the bottom, see here, this is nothing but version number, which version, which culture we have to use in our application. This is name of my project. This is nothing but name of my application. Fine. Whatever main method, click over here. Main method uses. In that program, I just print hello world. So which classes, which files, which methods I am using. So this is nothing but all the metadata and collection of all the assembly is nothing but manifest. Clear, Ajay? Okay, good. So we go ahead. Now I want to show you what are the different application. Clear for everyone up till now? Yeah. Can we proceed? Yes, good. So there are the three more components in the .NET framework. First one is console based application. We have to already done the program hello world. Now next one is Windows based application. Now Windows based console based application provide a CUI based interface. Character user interface. Windows Phone provide graphical user interface. This is nothing but GUI. And third one is web based application. Web based application provide a web application. It's a globalized application. We already see a console based application. Now I want to show you how to look like Windows based and web based application. Now Windows based application is nothing but it's a framework which provided the rich GUI based application and rich controls we have to use. This window is nothing but showing an interface of the Windows form based applications. Look at here, we just do the practically. Just click over here, new project. Before that we have to see a console based application. Now click Windows. I am comes inside a Visual C Sharp, right? Because we have to use it at the backend C Sharp.net. Now click Windows form application, same folder. We have to save this application. If you want to give a name, fine, so click over here. Suppose this is nothing but my window application. Click OK. This is nothing but interface for the GUI based application, graphical user interface. I already told you this provided a reach control. These all are the control. Suppose I just drag and drop button. Look at here. I just change the name of that button, right click, goes on property. On properties window, change the properties, click. This is nothing but name of my button. Look at here. Fine. Now double click on that button. Suppose whenever I run this application, click on that button, just open a one prompt box, alert box, fine. So we have to use a message box dot show. Now I just write over here hello world. Put a semicolon for end of our program, run by pressing F5. Look at here. This is nothing but console based application provide character user interface. This is provide graphical user more clear. Click on that button, just event occur and prompt a message box. Hello world. Clear? Okay. Now next is a web based application. Web-based application developed by using the technology ASP.NET. It's a framework for building the web application and web services. So ASP.NET, this application is provided for backend. We have to use C Sharp.NET, and for the front end we have to use a HTML, CSS and all. Right? This is the interface for the web forms. Right? Now inside of web forms, it's required a more clear our look and feel. How to create a web application? This is a Windows based application. Now I am creating a web based application. Click new project. Fine. Select web. Click ASP.NET Empty Web Application. OK. This is nothing but my application. Right click on that form. If I want to a empty form, new item, click web forms, add it. Look at here. This is nothing but HTML based page. Whatever I want to write, you have to write inside a division tag. Design, we are able to see only the design. Suppose here I drag and drop one button. Fine. Split, I am able to simultaneously work on source code and design also. Look at here. This is nothing but ASP.NET control. Fine. It's a dynamic web application. Now just change the properties. Same properties like a Windows form. Click. Now I just add a one label. Inside a label, you have to empty that label. put a empty because I want to display some text inside that. On that button click, I want to show some data inside that label. So click on that button. So this is the button click event. So we have to use a response class for print any data on your page. So response dot write method for displaying on any page. So suppose on response dot write, I just print welcome to welcome. Just I write a welcome. Fine. Now I want to display some data inside that label. Fine. So you have to use a label. Label 1 is the ID for that label. Check over here. Label 1. Fine. Now label 1 dot text. So text property is display some text inside that label. This is your first web application. Now run, press F5. This is run on the browser. If you have to look at here, this is run on the browser and this is nothing but waveform1.asps. Whenever you have to click on that button, just display both the data, whatever you have to write inside a response.write, and whenever clicking on that button, display the some data inside that label. This is your first web application. Clear difference between console based, Windows Form and web-based application. Now next thing is a web service. Understand this concept. Web service is nothing but component related some protocols provided which is depend on the XML and SOAP. Now SOAP is nothing but simple object access protocol. This protocol, this rules is actually used without working of the IIS. IIS is a server name which is used for developing our application at the client side. So without IIS, it should be worked directly. Fine. So this is the opportunity provided by using a web service. It's a advanced concepts developed inside a 3.0. Fine. Some of the example I want to show what is a web service. Now famous website is Accenture. Accenture is leading management consulting technology. So this interface is nothing provided a different services. Same like a Capgemini also. And Orkut. Orkut is also a social networking services owned and operated by the Google. Fine. Clear? Ajay, Sunil, Ashwini, Shreyas, Ajit. Yes, anyone have any doubts? So ask me on that chat window. Okay, good. Everyone is clear that concept. Fine. So just recap whatever we learned today. Fine. So what is a summary we have to access? What is .NET framework? So .NET framework is nothing but one of the platform which is used for run our application. Fine. So there are the two main parts or the components inside a .NET framework. One is a CLR, CLS, CTS. Fine. CLS is nothing but common language specification, is provide some rules and regulation. Next one is CTS, is a common type system, allows the language to share the data types. Then how to convert a language? Convert a language inside a CLR. Source code is converted into, yes, IL intermediate language by using a CSC compiler. After getting IL intermediate language converted into machine code by using a JIT compiler. Then we see the ADO.NET. ADO.NET is nothing but intermediate between your front end and back end. Then Windows Form and web-based application. Windows Form provided a rich look by using a graphical user interface. ASP.NET is nothing but allows a globalize how to make our application as a globalize web services, expose some advanced functionality and how to make it remotely accessible through our XML support. Thank you. So everyone clear these sessions? Thank you so much. We will continue in next session.